Hello, everyone, and welcome to another chapter of Cradle of Caine, a Sabbat Vampire the Masquerade chronicle. Before we get into tonight's episode, I would like to quickly introduce my cast. If only two of them here today.
Hello everyone. My name is Gabriel. You can find me various places all around the internet at Good and Chaotic. I do a whole bunch of things, but today I will be bringing you Arthur, the friendly local Tremere and owner of King's Highway Books.
Hello, my name is Serena. You can find me at Twitter over at the Overlord. Every other announcement is over there. And yeah, tonight I will be playing as Adrestia, also known as Addie to her coterie mates, or Pack rather. Sorry about that. The ex-sheriff of the Camarilla.
And as always, I am your storyteller tonight, Nick Francia. You can find me at Nobleman Nick. Would like to give a disclaimer for tonight's episode. If you have possibly any aversion to drug-related issues, themes, perhaps this is not the episode for you. If you feel uncomfortable at all during the stream, feel free to, shut it off, get somewhere that you feel safe and comfortable. We're all about being comfortable on this show. All right. Ready to begin?
Yeah!
First things first, can you both give me rouse checks as you rouse from another night of slumber, awakening into the cold, dark world?
I get hungrier.
Raising up to 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're good? All right. Addie staying at that sleek 1 hunger. The beast feeling a little peckish, but you can ignore it. Arthur, when you wake up, you can feel maybe a little bit of want for food, but if you really wanted to, you could easily shelve it for the time being. But it's just really, it's a countdown.
Sort of stretches, stands, smiles as he hears the beast begin to sort of rattle at its cage in his brain. Not now, old friend, but soon. Soon.
And I think this is the point where we can tell a vampire story. Arthur, what does a normal day at the shop look like for you, specifically on these few nights?
In the modern nights of Philadelphia, it's a fairly standard night. Would involve Arthur getting up, meandering around the small little room that he has commandeered for himself, sort of in the very center of the building to ensure that no light ever gets to it. He picks up his pocket watch, slides it into his pocket, and sort of feels around his neck where the item that he still has from his sire is kept forever close to his heart. For the moment when he's going to need it. But that isn't tonight. And he's not sure when that will be. So after a few moments of contemplation, he goes down into the shop to greet Quinn and probably dodge another flying first edition of Charles Dickens thrown at his head by a friend.
No, definitely so. Your friend is very active today. Even as you're kind of walking downstairs into the main shop area, you notice something has been making little scratches on the staircase walls.
Sort of analysing them, sort of runs a finger down one. How did you get it to smell sulfuric? That's genuinely very impressive. Okay.
You're not sure if that's the poltergeist or just the shop.
Yeah. We're not sure what the walls are really made of here. I will say this is probably one of the weirder establishments, but not for long. Yes.
And as you go down, you see Quinn is running the shop for the most part. He does well, one for running it, and you know it keeps open most of the day and also most of the night. That's the kind of nice thing about, you know, the shop itself. It's almost like this late night, like occultist stop where people can come in and just find interesting rare books, as well as stuff they probably don't think they need. And Quinn's looking actually quite happy as he's like kind of looking through the like rough sales reports and everything. He's like, we're actually doing pretty well this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who would have thought that Kensington would be a place to open up a bookshop? I mean, with the bars on the window and everything else. Well, I guess a little too late at this point.
Yes. Well, you know what they say. One door closes, another door opens, doesn't it? Has young Theo been in recently?
Nothing that I've seen.
A shame.
But I'm sure he'll be back to make an offer soon. If at all.
Probably. Yes. Well, has our the interesting gentleman you mentioned the other day been back?
I haven't seen him. I mean, he was very cryptic about when he was coming back indeed. But it's interesting, right? Like, I don't know, I don't get good vibes from that person.
No. Well, that certainly is interesting, and I think I will take it under advisement, because from what I've seen, you're a fairly good judge of character.
Of course, that's why Fiorenza, the lady herself, employs me. Or did, before. You understand how it goes.
I do, and actually, you know, speaking of our mutual friend, she still owes me that meeting, doesn't she? Do you think that that's something you could facilitate?
I mean, of course, obviously the lady, she has a busy schedule, but I mean, you are someone who are good notions. I definitely could arrange some sort of meeting. I doubt she'll be able to come to the city, but a phone call would be suffice.
Perfect.
Excellent. I do hear she's traveling the Italian countryside currently, though.
Oh, interesting.
You know, she likes to take these little rampant little vacations through Europe and the world and whatnot. Check on her affairs, as it were.
Well, I shan't pry into business. I know she likes to keep it close to the chest. So, I will trust you to keep an eye on the shop. Dear boy, make sure that nothing untoward happens. Make sure that Friend doesn't break any more of the glass cases. Okay, good job.
And as you kind of go to walk out the door, a customer walks in.
Oh, greetings.
In a basically like in a hoodie, roughed up jeans, and he's kind of eyes darting around, and walks up to Quinn. Says, "Excuse me." Who's at the desk? I hear this is where I could find particularly rare books. And Quinn goes, "Yeah, yes, my lad. What can I do for you? What can I do for you?" And he kind of like opens up his like the catalog and everything. And he looks around, And he goes, yeah, I'm gonna need you to open the register. And in a quick motion, he pulls out a gun, aiming at Quinn. And Quinn has both his hands up, noting that his ghoulness can probably take a few more shots than a normal person. He goes, oh dear, I'm being robbed. We're being robbed, Arthur.
Oh no, how terrible. Wow, I'm so scared. Excuse me.
And he, like, looks shaky
Hello?
over.
Hello? Hi.
I'm being serious.
Yeah. Oh, are
Where's
you
the money?
now? Oh dear, sweetling. Where did you come from?
His face
School?
is obscured by the hoodie.
Did you just come from school?
And he shoves the gun in your face. I'm being serious.
I bite him. I'm just gonna wrench the gun to the side and just go for the neck.
Okay. And as you do, and as you kind of go to the floor, you notice that his hood falls away, and his face looks somewhat familiar. As it's almost like looking into an old photo book, seeing people in the past that you never thought you would see. But in fact, you could swear you were looking at the splitting image of Kieran. But
I think he just sort of having this kid sort of in his arms and his fangs bared, ready to go for the kill. He feels the beast sort of propelling him forward to keep going and to drain this fucker dry. And then that remnant of who he was before muscles in and gets in the goddamn way. And it's frustrating. Because Arthur hates it when things get in the way of what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it's his humanity that's gotten in the way. So he grabs this kid by the scruff, sort of by the neck, and just shoves up against the wall and is just gonna hold him there with his arm against his throat.
And you hear a cocking as Quinn has the shotgun behind the counter.
Now. What have we here?
Seems like we have an intruder.
Yes, that we do. What a shame.
And he's just like struggling, and you could tell by his eyes they're extremely bloodshot. He looks extremely high right now.
Do you have a name, boy?
Fuck you.
That's not a name, sweetheart.
And he like kind of threw the coffin, because you know, Arthur's not. How tall is Arthur?
About 5'6", probably 5'5".
Yeah, not a little bit like shorter than average. And
Bit of a short king.
yeah, he's definitely short king energy.
Yeah.
And this guy's definitely taller than Arthur, but you have him just pinned up with strength. And Miles, my name's Miles.
Miles. Right, Miles, you and I are going to have a little chat. Then after that, you are going to reevaluate everything you've done here today, and you're going to make a few very critical choices. All right? Those will decide in what state you walk out of my shop. Am I making myself quite plain?
Yes. And Quinn kind of goes through it and goes, got an ID?
Oh?
Miles Fletcher. Would Quinn know of that name, of that last name? Or
Absolutely not.
Okay, just making sure. He goes, odd fellow. Picked the wrong shop, I assume?
I just grab him by the front of his shirt and I'm going to drag him into the back office and slam the door behind me, shove him down into a chair.
I'll tend to the shop, Quinn says.
Thank you, dear.
And you know your friend's feeling very active, because as soon as you get Miles into the chair, the room starts shaking a bit and stuff starts flying off the walls, almost like a fear tactic. And you see Miles dart his eyes around and almost coming out a cry and a whimper as you can hear a dripping as you look to the base of where he's sitting, and you can see this puddle has just formed, essentially.
So, talk me through your thought process here. How did you think this would go for you? I'm curious.
I just wanted the money. I don't want any trouble. I just need the money.
If you needed the money, this is the wrong place to get it. This is a bookshop.
So I just needed something that didn't look like it was gonna give me any trouble, and please let me go, please.
Where are your parents?
They're not around.
Not around? Not around how?
They're not alive.
They're not alive.
No.
Okay.
What do you want?
Any other family, Miles?
Yeah, I got a sister.
You got a sister?
And an uncle.
Right. Okay.
And they'll
Understood.
be wondering where I went if I don't come back.
He sort of reaches across the desk and sort of readjusts the boy's shirt a little bit, just busts off some dust. Less of that. We're simply having a talk, aren't we? Now, it's fortuitous that you chose my shop to try and rob, because I actually do know you. More specifically...
You do?
I do, yes. More specifically, I know your family, dear.
What do you mean you know my family? I'm sure they never mentioned... What? And because Arthur looks pretty young. Well, like 30s, right? Arthur's looking...
Sort of 25, early
Yeah.
20s. He looks pretty young.
Yeah.
That's about 25.
He definitely Miles definitely is like what, like I think I would know family friend like that age range.
How old are you, Miles?
26.
Yes. The age where you think you know everything until proven otherwise. Am I right?
Yes.
Thought so. No, you see, I knew your grandfather.
You what?
I knew your grandfather. Your family weren't always from Philadelphia.
That's my grandfather. That's impossible. You sure you're not that old?
Oh, darling. That's where you're wrong. And he's going to stand up and walk around the desk and just sort of put his hands on the shoulders of this young boy. Sort of dig his nails in a little bit. Now, tell me. You've done me a chronic disservice here today.
And as you say that, the scratches rend across the desk in front of him. He goes, "What the fuck's that? What is that?"
What are you going to do to make it up to me?
I just need money. I swear I won't say anything. Just let me go. Just let me go. Just let me go. Just please let me go.
You see, this is where we're going to have a problem, darling. I don't have any guarantees that you will remain useful to me if I let you go. But equally, I kind of don't want you around here either. You've already ruined the hardwood. So, here's what we're going to do. And Arthur takes his fingernail and sort of scrapes a hole open in his arm. And there's a ripping, tearing sound of the flesh rending as the vitae begins to well up on the surface. And he just shoves his wrist against the boy's mouth.
And he struggles for a bit, but it only takes a few drops.
Drink.
And more? He says.
Drink.
And in his kind of high state, he just doesn't, doesn't really know what else to do, and he drinks.
Yeah, snatch my arm away eventually, then just grab him by his face. Make him look at me. You and I are going to start a little arrangement here. Do you understand me, Miles? Your grandfather was a very smart man. I will not have a vestige of his bloodline wasting their fucking life pissing on someone's floor. You're a disgrace. But...
And just like snot and like tears.
But, luckily, soon you won't be. Do you want to be magnificent, Miles?
I just want to be alive.
I can make you so much better than that.
Why do you taste like synth?
You'll find out in time. Not all secrets can be unveiled in one evening, no? So here's what we're going to do. You are going to walk out of the shop. You are going to speak of this to absolutely no one. You will go home. You will do whatever the fuck it is you do with the rest of your evening. I really couldn't give a damn. But you will be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. sharp, or I'll find you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, anything. Sure.
Good boy. Off you go.
And he basically runs out of the shop, and as you do, Quinn kind of calls out. He's like, "Come back soon."
Quinn!
Yes, Miss Harris.
Accident in the office. Could you get the mop, please?
Oh, Christ. And
I know.
he comes across and just like, I do not get paid enough for this. And just begins mopping it up.
You know, even allowing for the changes in currency over time, me neither. And Arthur stands and says, "Well, good show, old chap." Pats Quinn on the shoulder and leaves the shop.
Should I expect you back before morning?
Probably. If not, likely get worried.
Understandable. We'll be here. Let me know if you need anything, sir.
Will do, son. Will do.
And you nod, and he nods, and you go up, and Quinn gives you a wave, and resumes sitting at the counter and reading whatever book he has decided to put his nose into. And from there, we're going to cut the scene for a second as we head to Addie. Addie, you're going to meet up with someone, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, as it were. That special note left for you at your apartment. We need to talk. Signed V.
Seems that I have no choice.
And you meet at a kind of lone area of the city, probably right on the waterfront, up more north, where most people like to have meetings, where you won't be bothered at Penn's Landing and just looking at the passing ships that come into the harbor and all the other old ships that have just been docked here for about a century and are now just turned into glorified restaurants and tourist traps. And you wonder if that's the case of all old glorious things, just to become taken advantage of and stationary to live the rest of their existence out as mere attractions to be gawked at. It doesn't take long for Veronica to find you, aka Ronnie. She doesn't look hostile. She's dressed in denim jacket, the combat boots, black pants, very tactical, very much looking like a Bruja, but you know for a fact Ronnie isn't one. Kind of leaning over the railing, she gives you a look. It's been a while.
It has.
You know, you haven't made life easy for me.
I left it just as I found it. I did not change anything.
You know, when you retire, that's supposed to be it. I was supposed to be sipping margaritas and enjoying my rest of my own life, cozy wozy, and well, looks like I have to get back to work again.
The work of the sheriff never ends.
It was for me. You were supposed to be my replacement. You were supposed to have your 100-year-long reign.
Supposed to be.
Yeah,
But
that's all
things didn't
fucked.
always end up like we wanted to be.
You know, I still, even to this day, I don't know why, I put my neck out for you a lot. Alright, I had to put up a pretty large front to make people look like I've been hunting you.
Then why not do it for real?
Because unfortunately I care about you. I shouldn't. You're selfish, unhinged, and just problematic in general, but yeah. I guess no matter how long you're dead for, you still naturally form connections to people. What a shit show it's been.
I did not take the first shot at all, Ronnie. You know that.
Yeah, but there was ways to handle it that weren't just scorched fucking earth, Addie.
They killed my husband and child. What do you want me to do?
So you ate the soul of your sire? You didn't think to, like, maybe there was other paths out of it. There were other paths out of it. We could have found it. We could have investigated together. We could have still stuck to our duties without having to turn this into a massive blood hunt.
And then what? The prince would have just turned a blind eye to what had happened?
I don't know, but I guess now we'll never know. Either way, I don't think running off to the fucking Sabbat. And yeah, I know that not everyone knows that, but I can tell. I know you. I know you've been moving around with other packs. Look, I didn't come here to fight. This will probably be our last meeting. I don't know. The next time I see you, I think I don't know if I'll be able to fake it any longer.
That's alright, Ronnie.
And the damage you think you've done, it's already been fixed. You know? They already elected a new primogen.
Good. That's good.
I'm sorry about your family. I'm sorry how it all went down. I know I never said that, but I really mean it.
I'll find whoever killed them
It's true.
and I'll hunt them down, even if it means I die.
Be careful.
I'm sorry.
The Sabbat are a different monster. We're pretty fucked up in the can, but they're a whole nother beast. They don't have morals. They don't have restraint. There's just a frenzy of hungry piranhas.
But they don't discriminate. No matter what clan you come from.
Oh shit, you could have went to the Anarchs with that attitude.
Even anarchs discriminate. Every time they see me, they just... I can see the way they look at me. It's not just because of my title as the sheriff. It's also because of my clan.
I know your people get a bad rep. But have you been seeing more of the web?
Yeah,
I see.
unfortunately.
Keeping well though?
Keeping stable.
I guess that's what I can all really ask. And to be honest, you can't really leave the spot now. You really don't have anywhere else to go. Architect, he fucking hates the Sabbat. He thought he stand enough. He knew that they were still around. They'd be all out war. Maybe it is going to be all out war. Maybe there's no way to avoid that, but
You and I both know you can never avoid war. It'll just happen. Not now, maybe not before, but it'll happen eventually. It's just a matter of time, really. And all we have now is time.
time. Yeah, that's all we ever have, I guess. So, and she kind of leans in, getting a little closer to you. What do they have you doing? The Sabbat.
Babysitting?
Some things never change, even across the factions.
Yes.
They don't have you storming any castles, assassinating high members of Camarilla, burning down an Anarch's gas station or something.
No. Unfortunately not. I wouldn't be here standing and having a nice talk with you if there's more fun things to be had out there.
I need to make a girl feel loved. Alrighty. Damn. And she kind of like shakes her head and takes a step back, looking out to the waterfront. You know, we could just leave. I hear Chicago's looking nice right about now.
Chicago. Prince Jackson. I think Philly, if ruled by a strong individual, could rival Chicago.
Well, you know what happens when powerful people attempt to go to war. I mean, you were alongside it. You were in the war. Cynthia and Ruby.
Yes.
Two river queens fighting against each other. goddamn mess that was. No one won. Delaware and Schuylkill still stayed the same. And the whole city went to violence. And better yet, that's what caused the whole system to fall apart. That's when the Sabbat took over.
That is true. I remember that clearly.
When you think of strong people, are you talking about, I guess, your former leader now? Olga? The Archbishop? The Boogeyman?
I guess.
Well, it took years, but the Architect stamped out the Sabbat, and he's not going to let any stragglers go. Just do me a favor. Just be careful.
And you
Please.
be careful too.
I'm not the one who lit a fire.
I'll be careful.
And she shrugs, and in a second you lose her from sight for just a moment, and then she's gone. And you kind of think to yourself, oh, fucking, of course, does this every time.
I guess that's one thing I picked up from her.
And are you doing anything before you head off to meet with Arthur?
I'll be contacting one of my prosecutor contacts.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can get a warrant for the place.
He'll and kind of you have that conversation with him, and he's basically like, he was like, you know, you're asking me to get a warrant for the penitentiary on its most busiest tourist season. I mean, it's a landmark. It's a historical site, for God's sake. We can't just go busting in there. You know, people will talk about it. There's, you know, it's a haunted house for Christ's sake.
It is a haunted house, but I'm sure you can make something happen. After all, there are the safety of the public to think about.
What are you trying to do?
Just a search warrant. It's not like we're raiding, it's a small search warrant.
Oh God, they're gonna. If you go in there with a warrant, I mean, everyone's gonna know that something's. Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Maybe you can sneak me in there.
I mean, it's the tourist season. All you really need to get in there is buy a ticket.
Yes, but not down there. Not beyond the...
We could think of something that doesn't involve letting the public know and putting it into actual legal documents. I mean, it's not someone's house at Jestia. I can't just. Well, I'll see what I can do. But I'm gonna need. You're gonna be a big favor for this one. I swear. God damn it.
Thank you so much.
He just hangs up, angrily cursing all the way through. And yeah, you head off to meet up with Arthur because the two of you decided to take a little ride in an aerial way. A helicopter flying across the night sky of Philadelphia. It's the rotaries just going quickly, and sounding like a very kind of like heavy hum as a pilot of, unimportant names and identity is just flying as two passengers kind of look out the sky. Arthur and you, Abby, are, you're buckled into the helicopter, because even from this height, for a Canaanite such as yourself, it would not end very well falling. But you're buckled in, you have the kind of like the headset on, so you can actually talk to one another. And the pilot is giving you like a private comms and everything like that. You paid for this very deluxe, very short notice flight, but you both have the money for it, so it's fine. And you're flying across the sky, heading, specifically you're taking a night tour of Philly, but you've been like, oh, I want to see the penitentiary. And it's about almost midnight at this point, and you can see that the penitentiary is kind of in the states of closing down from its Halloween haunted house tour. The lights are slowly going off. The people are funneling. The festivities are ending for the night. And this happens multiple nights a week until about mid-November. And for those that don't know what the Eastern State Pen looks like, it's honestly one of the best places to kind of look at a place like from above. It has such interesting kind of architecture to it. So just think of smack dab in this city, there was just a square, like a nice I'm trying to pull up an overhead right now so I can, yeah, there we go, cool. It is just like a nice square that is just surrounded by these like 20 to 30 foot high like stone walls that almost look like battlements of a castle more than anything. And at the front of the penitentiary, you can see this giant, like almost like the entrance is this, it's got the the archway on it, the additional like kind of watchtowers dotted across it, and within it, the penitentiary, the way it's set up, is almost like a star, where it's buildings going this way, buildings going that way, buildings going up and down, buildings going across, in that like asterisk formation, with the central area being like the main processing hub. So gaining access, when you first walk in, you gain access to the middle part, and then you can go to any one of the kind of arms from there. And you look and you can see that it's definitely heavily staffed by people and guards and everything, even though the penitentiary is out of commission for the most part. It's no longer used as a prison. The various security guards from people who would want to go in there and ruin its reputation, or like do graffiti, or ruin the historical preservedness of it, definitely is high in flux. And it's almost like an anomaly. It's just this old architecture just standing out in this modern day city, like right next to like a Wawa and a Starbucks, so with a parking lot on the side and a Wells Fargo bank building just somewhere down the street from it, while little doting like apartments and dilapidated houses and projects also exist around it.
Arthur is considering getting a pumpkin spice latte. Yeah.
That sounds good, but it's gonna taste horrible.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sort of look down.
Wonder what will happen if you throw something off it. It's gonna be a nice flat.
Probably qualify more for modern art than a corpse at that point, wouldn't it, really? Where are we landing, by the way? I'm not particularly familiar with the air traffic control restrictions of the city. Is there perhaps a lesser populated building we could use as a stopping point?
I can't really land in this area. There's no buildings high enough. We don't have any landing pads. I mean, I can't land in the penitentiary.
Oh, that's a shame. How close can you get?
I mean, it's an aerial view. I can get you pretty close. I mean, no, I can only drop a certain amount before I'm in the danger zone. And he kind of descends the helicopter a little bit, letting you get that kind of aerial view on it. And here,
whilst we're sort of hovering and having this sort of bird's eye view of the pen, Arthur would like to try and use Sense the Unseen to see if he can get sort of a broad scope of it.
Of course. Go ahead and
Let's do this.
give me a roll.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little bit tough because you
Mhm.
are, doing it from such far away. But
Yeah.
Can
For
I
sure.
also roll for it?
yeah,
Cool. I'm going to rouse the blood to get extra dice. Ooh, yay! I succeed. Isn't that fun? Okay. Da-da-da. So that's
2, I'll willpower reroll 3. That's a 4 for me.
oh, that is. Ooh, that was a crit. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7.
yeah. As you kind of get the scope of the place, kind of looking across, you could definitely see that there is things are not as they seem. As you can tell, that there is definitely wards around the central area, kind of where the warden would be. Specifically, you're not sure what it's warding against, but you can honestly guess at this point. You could see various bits of people that definitely move with a little bit of an unnaturalness to them. And you can identify them possibly as other Canaanites. And if the information you've gotten is of any truth to it, then you definitely can identify them as Camarilla. You can't count them all, but you definitely have seen like 3 or 4 Canaanites around the area, and there is armed security guards as well, possibly ghouls, and the force of security guard looks to be about in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty heavily armed and defended. Specifically in the main kind of warden's area and like the little tower in the center where you've seen the wards and stuff, you do get the feeling of almost familiarity. Like the kind of work that only your clan could do. But even looking at this height, the sense of fear and dread you get from this place is more appalling. And you're not sure if that's because of the danger associated around it, or just the presence of something more unnatural than your being. Something like your friend, but definitely more sinister. In the more dilapidated and isolated blocks.
Interesting.
Like, if any of you had danger sense or anything like that, it would definitely be going off and telling you that there are things in there that would love to just consume everything you are.
Well, this could be interesting. Addy, what say you we see out the rest of this fantastic tour and then maybe circle back to that building? I hesitate to say anything more whilst we're in mixed company.
Of course.
And the tour concludes after about another hour or so flying, and the pilot tells you that he has to go refuel and everything, and the tour's over. But you've gotten plenty of information from the aerial anyway. And it lands, and suddenly you feel you find yourself about a block away from the penitentiary in like a local cafe.
Fab. Arthur would like to sort of take almost the scenic route to the penitentiary with Addie, so that we kind of avoid a lot of the crowds as we're having our talk. And he would just like to say, so this is Camarilla land then?
It is.
What can we expect from them?
How well guarded do I know this place is from my time?
You would know. So specifically, you would know. Because we were talking about this before. I'm gonna have you make a roll to see how much you would know of this. Go ahead and give me an intelligence. I'm just saying, give me an intelligence plus investigation. Just to see your general knowledge of this place, how much you would know. Because you know it's Camarilla, you know it's got a notoriety to it, and it's quite protected.
And I know that it's haunted by ghosts. That's three. That's 3 successes.
Cool. Specifically, you're not sure if you can confirm if there's ghosts there or not, but you know that's always been the rumor. And you know that the person in charge is kind of notorious and calls himself the Warden, a gentleman by the name of Phineas White, a Nas. And that he has some sort of, force of, he's an Insula, and just some sort of force of kindred as well that have helped him kind of establish this as his domain. He specifically got it from the architect and has been, or actually not the architect, he specifically got the Camarilla approval of opening the penitentiary from the Prince Deacon before. And then he had to kind of abdicate it for a bit when the Sabbat came around, but even the Sabbat couldn't penetrate the penitentiary for the longest time. So when the architect came back around and took control over Philadelphia, he was just allowed to stay there and claim it as his domain.
It's currently owned by a Nosferatu, another Ancilla like me. But there's always the rumors of ghosts around that area.
Well, that certainly lines up with what I saw whilst we were taking a more bird-eyed approach. There are things in there beyond the natural ken, even beyond our ken, that I would not particularly like to tangle with on our expedition here today. Moreover, my clan is quite heavily represented. Does that line up with what you know of this place? Is it used as a chantry at all?
You would know that. Most likely not. It's not like a. You wouldn't expect. You haven't heard that there's a lot of Tremiers around this area.
There's no chantry in here. Most likely this area, or at least the wards, if that's what you said earlier. Those are mostly probably hired by the Nosferatu to make this place safe or to keep things in.
Interesting. Well, you're the tactician. How do you suggest we approach this?
Blend in with the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I've called in a favor from one of my contacts. I'm hoping that he'll get this to us soon. We'll be blending in, or at least you will be blending in as one of the staff members. I'll be stealthing my way through until we get to the area where the coin is. Speaking of which, do you have a cloth with you? Anything with holy water, perhaps?
Nothing with holy water. Is there a nearby church around here?
You're actually kind of close to. It's a quick drive to the basilica from here. Although you were told that if you show up to the basilica again without, you would be attacked, so maybe not there, but...
Well, we could go to the basilica, but the very person who gave this job to us is needlessly dramatic, and therefore, if we come to his lair again without the thing, we die. Ooh, scary, scary.
And like Javier is a pack priest. I mean, he probably would also have access to holy water.
I could just ask Javier. Where's he nowadays?
He's still in probably the same area before.
Yeah, he doesn't really move, does he? Well, we could always go there and get some of that. Although, I mean, it's probably worth it at this point, isn't it? Would you like to wait for your contact and I'll go and sort the holy water and then we can meet back here? Rendezvous? As the kids say?
Of course.
All right. And Arthur will very sort of jauntily make his way over to where they know Javier is.
Before you leave, go ahead and give me an intelligence plus occult, please.
Whoop. Those are one of my favorite rolls to do. Okay, let's have a look. What is that for me? That's not bad. 3 and occult. Is this to do with artifact identification at all?
It does not.
Nah, fishing for that extra dice.
Respectable.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so that's intelligence and occult, so that's 6 dice. Got a lot of dice in my hands. Okay. 3 successes. Oh, 4, sorry. 4 successes.
You would know no bestial or anything like that. Okay.
Nope, just normal.
Awesome. You would also know, holy water being something would work. More of the traditional stuff, and like kind of as you'd like look into the fiction of it all, you could probably use something like even salt might work temporarily as well. You would also know that the ultimate bane against wraiths or ghosts would be the mortal's true faith.
Ooh.
Something that a kindred Cainites can't have, but you can kind of fake it if you are well enough and knowledgeable about it.
So, Arthur being kind of a nerd, as previously established, would it be respectable to assume that he probably knows a few prayers, a few hymns?
So yeah, so I can tell you right now, kind of out of game, mechanically, what you would understand this as is that you can make a kind of a mock true faith roll, but in doing so, every time you would roll for it, you would have to spend willpower.
Okay.
You are putting your belief and will into it, but you could make an intelligence plus occult in order to sort of mimic that true faith a bit. It definitely won't be as strong, and not nearly as strong as true faith, but you might be able to save yourself in a quick situation with it. It shouldn't be your only arsenal, but it is a weapon in your toolkit you could use.
Fantastic. Okay. I think in that case, then he is going to sort of go by way of that little Greasy Spoon cafe, sort of go in, buy something menial, and just like scoop up a salt mill on his way out. Like scoop up a couple salt mills off the table and just walk out like nothing's amiss.
I was about to say, yeah, you definitely could do that. Or even just go to your local grocery store and just be like, well, I'm buying this can of salt. Very easy to do. Yeah, and then so you two are splitting up again?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Addie, are you just waiting for Arthur to finish, or are you going anywhere in particular?
No, I'll probably scout around the area first, see if there is other way in other than blending in with the crowd.
Awesome. And then Arthur, you're going to Javier. I'll resolve Addie's actions first. Addie. So very much at the end of the day, this place is almost like a fortress. I mean, it is a prison. It functioned as a very successful prison back in its heyday, and because of it, there really is only one way in or out, unless you can cling to the walls and climb out that way, which certain Cainites can do. Your only way in and out is going to be through the front gate, and with the towers and everything, and the big walls and just the maze-like structure. The spider web that the penitentiary serves as, definitely that could lead for some hairy situations in the future as well. With the guards, with the guns, with the warden's office overlooking everything, it does allow for a more heightened sense of security. It's more easier for them to keep track of everything because at the end of the day, it is a prison.
Can I touch the walls and force a premonition?
Okay, so you want to go up to the walls of the actual penitentiary for? Okay, I'm gonna have you give me a dexterity plus stealth, please.
Awesome.
Unless you would like to see unseen passage as well.
That's a 4.
Okay. So, under the cover of night, you don't think anyone sees you, and you're able to get to the walls, and you're going to use the power premonition, your discipline.
Yep.
Awesome. And how does that feel for you when you use it? Like, as a Malkavian, how does that operate? Like, what is that visual effect in your head?
It's more like first feeling I would get is my whole mind is being pulled out of my body. And when I open my eyes, I am seeing my vision. I am seeing something else, seeing of what things are to come. I could see paths from my left to my right, to my front, to my back, down or up, things that could happen but has not happened. And it will be clearer to me what path to take in the future if ever that is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
As
Go ahead and give me a rouse check then.
Mhm. I'm glad that I am not La Sombra. I am nailing this tense on my rouse checks.
Awesome. Go ahead and give me resolve plus your aspects.
So plus my auspics. That's a 4.
Awesome. So as you touch the walls and you start to see the web of your mind spider out even more, and you begin to notice that the mirror, although already very cracked, begins to crack just a little bit more every time you use these powers, every time you delve deeper into it, such as the name of the game, as it were. And specifically, you can imagine scenarios walking in, and you see yourself walking in and then immediately shot down. You see yourself getting to past the gate and getting into one of the areas, and then you are immediately shot down. You see yourself getting up to the warden's office, whatever that would look like, because you're not entirely sure what it does look like, and you see yourself being held down and just torn apart. You see yourself getting into the cell block, and you feel yourself being drained of your very soul, or whatever is what's left of it. And every kind of which way you do this, you feel like it's just death all around you. But you do see one future, one possibility where you do walk out of here. But it should be noted that your premonition is telling you this is incredibly dangerous. And at the hilt of it all, at the center of all these spidering webs, is a deformed looking gentleman with kind of long scraggly hair, 2 piercings in the side of their ear, and they are just smiling, their lips partially ripped off and removed, long gnashing fangs going up and down, and a cigarette lit from their lips.
This is definitely going to be fun. I'm going to walk back to where I came from and look for a nearest cafe or something.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just sit there and try to look like I blend in.
And you go, it's kind of cutting to Arthur. Arthur, you go to find Javier, and he's back at the Fairmount Waterworks as well. He's in kind of normal, like almost like vestments and stuff like that. You know, his usual clothing, not entirely flashy, but he's just enjoying himself and looking. Goes, my child, what can I do for you?
Hello, Javier. Good evening. Good evening. We have found ourselves in a very odd spot. And, we could use some additional armaments, I think is the terminology, except not in the usual sense of things that you can stab with or shoot with. This is more spiritual armaments, really.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, whatever I can provide, I would most certainly help my pack.
Fantastic. You see, one of the people who we are supposed to be sort of, gathering to reform our little organization here in the city has made a request of us that we are to go to Eastern Penitentiary and find a coin of particular value. And that penitentiary is very haunted. Very, very haunted. So, we wondered if perhaps you have any holy water or useful things lying around that could help us in avoiding getting rendered limb from limb.
Let's see.
Mm.
And he kind of hands you, kind of digs in, handing you some kind of crystal bottles and everything. About 2 of them. And he goes, as much as I spare. Be careful with this.
Understood.
I'm sure you can understand that while the fiction we've kind of put out into the world, it's not incredibly deadly to us. This thing will still burn you. And if used by someone who believes in it enough, it will be incredibly dangerous.
Ugh, understood. Right. Okay, well, that's going in a pocket, not touching my skin. Great. Any advice, any friendly tips for this place? Have you ever been there? I've not been there.
It is a stronghold of Camarilla influence. Even during the takeover of the Sabbat, we hadn't been able to ever seize it from control of the Camarilla. It's never fallen.
So why do you think this individual wants a coin from there? Just out of interest. I'm just curious. You wouldn't tell us anything.
This individual being?
Oh, blimmin' hell, what's his name?
It's Dimitri Lovelace.
Dimitri, I believe it was. The, very, very edgy-looking young man.
Dimitri holds the position of Templar. He is the greatest holder of the Sword of Caine. He is the warrior. He is the knight that actually leads the forces of Sabbat into battle in the olden days, as it were. Now he kind of has not much to do except hide like the rats we currently kind of feel like we are. That being said, not sure what the coin significance would be, but Dimitri always thinks his plans through. He doesn't do anything without reason.
You see, that is far more settling, because from my impression of him, it seemed like he hadn't really done his homework.
No, if he told you to go through there, he surely understands the danger. And maybe it's not even about the coin. Maybe it's just showing that the penitentiary can be sieged. It can be taken from the Camarilla. And symbols are powerful, People rally behind symbols. They risk their life on it. And when symbols break, it can have such a profound effect on morale. Maybe he seeks to use you to break the Camarilla spirit.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. Let's see how it goes then, shall we? I would say pray for us, but I feel like that's a little bit obsolete nowadays. Right. Take care, Javier.
I'm sure you will understand. And you could notice he also looks slightly singed.
Oh my god. Arthur just sort of gives him a look of,
I'm sure you'll hear the story soon enough.
I don't want to know. If I don't know about it, I can't be angry. Okay, bye. He turns around and leaves.
Goodbye, Arthur. And he bids you farewell. And we kind of cut back to the cafe.
Walk in, sort of close the door, walk up to Addie's table, and sit down opposite. So, he puts one of the vials on the table, slides it across. Score.
I just raise up like a lanyard with a staff card attached to the end of it.
Fabulous. Just attach it. Okay, so I'm guessing I'll be going in and actually doing the thing, and you'll be following along?
Yep.
All right.
You be careful of the Nosferatu.
He's
I have
there.
a feeling he is there.
Ah. Cool. Okay.
So is the idea that you're both going to enter the penitentiary tonight, or is the staff badge for like the actual official operation, as it were, when you all go in?
Well, the plan is for us to go in with the crowd.
Mm-hmm. So the crowds have already dispersed for the night. You would have to do that like basically like before midnight, but definitely is possible.
Did you find out anything more whilst you were milling around the area? Anything interesting?
Saw visions of us getting shot down in every single way possible. But there's one path, and only one, where we do end up walking out alive. Also, I think I may have found where our little ghosty friend is, deep in the cells.
As in a ghosty friend we're avoiding, or something to do with the coin?
Maybe both.
Huh.
If the ghost is connected to the coin or is guarding the coin, then we're gonna have quite a challenging time handling it and bringing it back to the surface.
Indeed. Although, I was thinking, it doesn't seem like this individual's really that bothered about the coin at all. It seems to be more about the message. So, my line of work has added benefits in that I can quite easily get a hold of, artifacts. Things that people wouldn't really see on the shelves of your regular local Walmart, So there's a chance that I could possibly get a hold of something that looks a little bit like it. It wouldn't be the exact thing, but it'd be something. And then we go and deal with the thing that they actually want that they didn't tell us they wanted, which is go in, prove somehow that we were there, and then get out again. Something that the Camarilla will take notice of, but not immediately rend us limb from limb for,
The thing is, I already know that that message is what he wants to put out. And what he wants to show to the Camarilla is that we are still here. And the only way for that to happen is if they either lose a very important artifact that is under their possession that we somehow managed to get, even though they keep calling it a really unbreakable fortress, as they say, or we destroy the one in charge of it.
The Malkavian.
The Nosferatu.
Ah, Yes, him. Right. Well. That's certainly something we could get on with. But perhaps the rest of the pack would be beneficial to have alongside us?
What are you afraid of, Arthur?
What am I afraid of? That is a very good question. I think wastefulness. I think that's the sticking point here. I don't think I particularly care for living a life forever, for existing into perpetuity, for when the rocks begin to boil and the oceans fall into the sky, or whatever the hell's going to happen when the calamity finally arrives. But when I do go, when I finally get to rest for good, I want before that to have spended all of my resources well. And frankly, I don't want us wasting any of ours on something that seems less than meaningful.
Once again, Arthur, it's not about the artifact. It's about sending the message. To show
aware of
that we
that.
have been there, even just two of us, shows that the Sabbat is still strong.
Of course.
So let's send the message.
All right. I'm intrigued, though. You asked me. Now it's my turn to ask you. What are you afraid of, Addie?
Losing my family, which at this point are now you and the rest of the pack.
That's a good enough an answer as any. Come along then. And Arthur will stand up and begin to head towards the gate.
And
Is he really
the gate is imposing. It's tall. It looks it's something else. And you can see almost it looks like you're walking into a different world. You're walking to hell itself, as you see the huge kind of the watchtowers with the little the square ridges on the top of them, like straight out of a medieval castle. You see the giant tower, and you see people stationed on top of it. A few cars are parked out in front of it, and it's not like there's like a huge gate, as it were, to get in. There is just a normal entranceway into the stonework.
While nobody's looking at me, I'm going to pop Unseen Passage.
Okay.
It's just one roust,
Go ahead.
which I have failed. Good job.
The two. Getting a little hungrier. If someone's feeling a little bit peckish in there. And you come up to the gates.
Yeah, are there any like workers moving around, people closing up, that sort of thing?
It's pretty late now. Like it's a little bit since you took the helicopter ride and everything else. So not entirely. No, there doesn't seem to be anyone that you can see.
Sort of rummage in his pocket. Sort of, yeah. Got anything on me here? Is there any like billboards up outside, or like anything advertising what exactly is going on at the penitentiary at the minute?
You do see like flyers and stuff like that.
Cool. Cool.
It's one of those events that's been around for so long that like you can see on the internet everything, but like everyone knows when Halloween season hits, like the penitentiary will be open at night at the earlier nights for the haunted house and the festivals and everything and festivities. You see like a sign-in sheet and everything.
Sweet. Cool. And you said there are people manning like the top palisades as well, the palisade?
That's what you saw, but you're not sure. When you look back up, they seem to be gone.
See. Okay. Right. I will just stroll up to like the sign-up sheet, and sort of put my name down for like tomorrow's tour.
And you see the security camera kind of catching your face a bit.
I put down Ryan Anada for tomorrow's tour. Whilst I'm sort of doing that, I'm trying to get another look into the main area. Like, can I see anything past this gate here into the pen proper?
Yeah, so if past the gate into the pen proper, you would see the courtyard.
Cool.
An initial courtyard, and you can see kind of the hints of the buildings, the kind of long arms. Do you also put the names of the rest of your pack?
No. I think after a while he's going to look around for Addie, realize that she's not there, and go, oh, yeah, no, that's the thing, isn't it? He's like, she's just gonna get whatever name I give her then, fine. Puts down like 3 other just names he makes up off the top of his head for his other packmates to reserve places, sort of thing. And whilst he's doing that, he is going to take another look with Sense the Unseen at the courtyard to try and see if there's anything more he can glean.
Awesome. Go ahead and give me the roll.
Okay. Oh, I can use Resolve. I can use Resolve for this. That's better. Okay. Great. I'm also going to do a cheeky rouse check as well to rouse of blood to try and give me a bit of a boost to this roll.
Of course.
Ooh, I'm hungry again.
3.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Arthur, you could feel the beast inside. Is it time to eat?
This is when it gets fun.
We're hungry. Let's do this.
Oh, but what do we want though? You're always so picky, and then when I pick something, you want something else.
I want something good. Something high quality. Come on, we didn't join this just to mell around with mortals. You know what we can eat, please.
Well, if we can pull some rabbits out of the hat, I'll see what we can do. But you're going to have to help me out a bit first, aren't you?
Of course. Oh, yes. We can revisit Theo. We love Theo. Theo tastes amazing.
We do love Theo, don't we? Oh! Okay. I'm going to spend a willpower to see if I can get some more out of that roll. Because that was a load of poop.
Literal poop.
Literal, actual feces. Horrendous behavior. Oh, that's better. 5 successes.
Awesome. So you look around, and from the inside, you really can't tell much. However, you do see kind of like parting through the kind of supernatural mist that has almost seemed to settle within the penitentiary, or maybe it's just the fog machines. You're not sure. You can see gliding across. There is a figure, a woman that doesn't seem to look like a Nosferatu, and she has very just like subvert kind of like black clothing on, that kind of like hugs tightly to her. She walks with an almost elegance, and you can see an assortment of trinkets as well as other accoutrements that doubt her appearance. Short hair, little bit of darker skin. And she doesn't notice you at first, but you do lock eyes for just a second before she glides out of sight and out of mind.
How funny. Yeah, I think with that being done, Arthur's going to sort of nod approvingly, kind of look up at the rest of the place, and take a step back, sort of going on his phone for a minute, taking a step back onto the side streets. He is going to be pulling up like the penitentiary website. Is there any sort of volunteer form or like
there's a
application?
A jobs page, yeah.
Fabulous. He's essentially going to be looking on the jobs page and just like filling several in.
Okay, yeah, no, you can definitely do that.
Cool.
Yeah, while Arthur's doing that, I'm just gonna show up, just drop my office skate right next to him.
Hi.
What are you doing?
Making a job application. What does it look like?
Why?
Because we want to do this well, do we not?
You already have a staff card. Why do you still need to do an application?
3 of you don't.
However, that's going to be a little bit tough because I believe the only one that has a mask out of all of you, like your entire pack, is you, Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn would probably be able to apply as well because she's still relatively young. Like, she just turned, so she actually has an identity still. But for Amari and Adressia, a little bit tougher. Don't know if they have a valid social security number, and
yeah. Oh yeah, true. You guys are yeah, no, that's awkward. Well, you're on the list for the tour anyway, so we can at least get you in as customers.
I am not going in there unobfuscated. I am going in there hidden.
It's probably for the best.
The moment they spot me, they'll raise the alarm, as I currently have a blood hunt on me by the Camarilla.
Like a full-on blood hunt, like an actual. Wow, what did you do? That's impressive.
Started the fire.
I mean, blood hunts tend to happen when sheriffs leave their position, and they also tend to happen when they diablerize a primogen as well. So, doubly so, many reasons.
Multi-talented.
Exactly.
I definitely did not leave quietly.
Honestly, at this point, I would be worried if you had. Yeah. Right. That's done at least, but there is a friend in the courtyard already. So the rumors, as you put it, are 100% correct. That place is extremely haunted. And whilst I don't believe the ones closer to the surface to be 100% salt and burn, forgive my pun, we are not sure what they'll do.
Don't you know any wards against ghost? Any ritual?
Currently working on one, actually, but this is day 5 of working on that said thing, and it's going to be a little while yet, so patience is a virtue.
Would Addie want to wait the possible weeks it would take Arthur to do this?
Definitely not. No. I did not get my job by being safe or careful. I got this job, well, my previous job as the sheriff, by taking all the risk I could take without dying.
And look where that got you.
I'm still alive, aren't I?
To an extent. Yes. Still. Are you sure it's wise for us to be doing this, just us, or should we at least wait for the rest of the group before we go in there?
The bigger the group, the less stealthy we are.
But if we're in a tall group, it shouldn't make much of a difference. And also, I believe Amari has a specific skill with talking himself in and out of trouble, respectively. That could be very useful.
That is true. I'm saying this while I obviously look impatient and ready to just go.
Yeah. And also, he sort of moves just slightly behind her and like nods at the gate. That's locked up tight for the evening, and I don't know about you, but I don't fancy lockpicks against modern security systems.
Guess we have no choice but to blend in.
Indeed. We are going to do this the fun way.
Ugh.
Oh, you'll warm up to it eventually. For now, though, meet here tomorrow evening.
I'll meet you here tomorrow evening.
All right.
And you both leave, departing to your homes once more. Your havens to sleep as the morning sun is rapidly approaching. Days are often blank spaces for both of you, and to live in a world only seen at night is such an interesting point of view. But as you sleep, the world still keeps going, and with it, reports of more fires being set. The police branding this as some sort of serial arsonist. And the inkling that not everything is okay. As we cut to the bookshop. In the daylight, as it were, where it's closed for the most part. Quinn opens it a little bit earlier before you wake up usually, but during the day, the bookshop is infamously just not available. And we see a gentleman walk up to King's Highways Books. He's dressed in a nice suit, slick back hair, and he looks at it with his card once more, holding it in his hand, the little advertisement for the bookshop, and looks down, kind of peering through the windows. And with a phone in hand, you can hear we as the audience can hear a conversation. Yeah, I still have to talk to the owner, but I think this place will do quite nicely. I think this will be the foothold we need to begin our operation. And so ends Chapter 4, Cradle of Caine. Thank you everyone to watching our Sabbat Vampire the Masquerade Chronicles. Thank you all to my cast for an awesome episode, as always. And I'm going to hand it over to them so they can tell you what's going on.
Well, holy moly, that was a thing that happened. What was that at the end? Oh no! Okay. I'm cool,
no,
I'm
you're
calm.
fine. Don't move. No,
Don't move. Right, exactly. No, gotta stay put. Gotta extend the moving process. Right. This could be intriguing. Hi everyone. I'm Gabriel. My fangs are falling out. It's a common problem in these nights. You know, like fluoride content in the water, high sugar levels in the blood. Yeah, like the fangs just ain't what they used to be. My name is Gabriel. You can find me various places at Good and Chaotic, friendly local trans man, and all around friendly disaster. I have absolutely had a blast today, as per the norm, and I have brought to you Arthur, your local Tremere bookshop owner and only small level sociopath. Look forward to various other things I'll be doing in and around the internet. We have Vesson, Dark Tide Rising Waters, currently running on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. BST, which is very exciting. The cast are currently running through a bit of an underground tumultuous situation where they may or may not be being stalked by a mysterious singing entity. It should be good fun. We will be over on Adventure Tavern Twitch. Come hang out. We'd love to see you.
And my name is Serena. I'm playing as Adrestia, the barely holding it there hound dog of this pack. Because she really wants to just go, but everyone's like, we have to wait for the pack. Well, that's gonna end great. A very serious Addie. Oh.
We love her.
But yeah, you can find me over at Twitter once again, the Overlord. Watch out for announcements as we will be having like new contents coming out soon, and things are gonna be like unpaused from the hiatus. And well, check out Gehenna Academy. I'm playing as Ivy there, and it's just so feral.
Yeah, honestly, the point by which this episode will air will probably be at the end of that game. About it, and so yes, definitely catch the near finale of Gehenna Academy. I think we'll almost be at.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was your storyteller tonight, Nick Francie. Find me at Noel Mendick. I am the stream producer and marketing manager over at Gehenna Gaming. I have a lot of fun there. I'll do a lot of games there and whatnot. Where you can find me, let's see. This will be in November, so will be about a month out before the premiere of Kingdom Hearts: The Interstitial War End Layer, our Part 2, Season 2, final season. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of guest stars and we'll have a lot of fun. We'll also be probably into production of the Neon Exodus Evangelion actual play series, so very excited for that. Wednesdays I'm playing games over on Carrying Comfort. Mondays I'm doing Gehenna Academy, our awesome BIPOC-focused Monster Art games, and maybe there'll be some other stuff happening. Who knows? You know, my schedule's always changed. It's always rocking. But I'll always be here, living with Cradle of Caine on my good friend Rena's channel. Thank you so much for hosting me and allowing me to cause a lot of chaos and bring some blood and fury over to here, Sabbat style. Everyone,
Always welcome.
have a great night. Enjoy yourself. And remember, be fucking feral. Bye, everyone.